going to make a freezer meal out of my favorite Chicken Salsa Verde recipe. This is super easy. I make this at least once a month in the slow cooker. We have always enough for more than one meal. Very often I will freeze the leftovers from the first time I make it so that I can have another meal of this a couple of weeks later. We love this. You can serve this as a salsa verde taco ball where you serve it over steamed rice. You can use it as a burrito filling, pour over a burrito. It's absolutely delicious, and I know you're gonna love it. If you haven't tried it, this is so easy, you're not gonna believe it. So we're turning this into a freezer meal today. We're gonna be using approximately 2.5 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. Again, boneless, skinless chicken thighs will work here. You can even do this with pork. You can turn this into a pork green chili by using cubed boneless pork loin or a boneless pork shoulder, up to you. We're gonna add a medium sweet onion sliced, 1 24-ounce jar of your favorite green salsa. So we're using approximately 3 cups. I'm also using a small 8-ounce can of tomatoes with green chilies, a few cloves of minced garlic, and this is approximately half a cup of my homemade taco seasoning. You can use whatever taco seasoning is your favorite. If you make your own, you're gonna want about a half a cup of that. Okay, now let's build our freezer meal. So I've got my chicken in the bag. I did want to mention to you guys, I will leave links to these little bag stands down below. I have compiled an Amazon shopping list that has a lot of the things that I'm using in this freezer meal series that might be helpful for you. You can have a look down below. It costs you nothing. It does help out the channel a little bit, and I appreciate every single time you click on over there. So thank you. So in goes our chicken, and then from here we're gonna go ahead and put our salsa, our sliced onion, our tomato and green chili, our garlic, our taco seasoning. That was pretty easy, I think, and I think that the end result here is really going to make you happy. So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to just press as much air out of here as possible. Give it a bit of a zhuzh. Now this is one of those ones where you want to mix it up a little bit. So just do it. Look, don't do what I did with the sweet and sour chicken and not have your bag sealed all the way, huh? Because that will just make you sad and you'll have to be cleaning up a mess. So again, the perfect place for my tip with the loaf pan. And this again is where you can find out if there's some extra air in here, and you can kind of squeeze it out, because air is the enemy when it comes to freezers. I like to fold it under just a little bit so everything is tucked in there really nice. You can freeze it like this, and then like overnight you can go and you can take the bread pan out, and then you can just pop this in your freezer. But I'm gonna go ahead and freeze this because I'm gonna be making this for dinner tomorrow. And I wanna show you guys what it looks like when it comes out of the freezer and how we can deal with that. Sometimes you have to cut the bag away, but sometimes it'll just pop out if you run it under a little warm water. So I'll be back when it's time to put this in the slow cooker tomorrow morning. All right, it is the next morning from when we prepared our salsa verde chicken freezer meal. We froze this overnight just so I could show you guys what it looked like when you get ready to make it. But when you get ready to cook this, just go ahead and run some warm water. Run this bag under the warm water. You can see, you can just go around the bag and like gently loosen it from the contents, and then when you open it up, it should just slide right out. And if it kind of gets stuck along the way, just grab a pair of scissors and snip it, because you're not going to probably keep the bag anyway, so you can just cut it. Just like that, and you're ready to go. You don't have to add anything to this slow cooker at all. This is going to gently thaw and cook all day long. And since we have to travel for an appointment today, I'm putting this in fairly early in the day. It is approximately 9 o'clock in the morning, and because I'm going to be cooking it all day long, I'm going to put this on the low setting, and then by the time we get home it'll be perfect for having dinner, and I can just come in here with the tongs, the chicken should be tender enough that it will just shred and break apart with the tongs, and it'll be perfect and ready to go. So I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's time to eat. All right, our chicken salsa verde has been cooking. Like I said, we put it on a little bit after 9 a.m. I put it on low. It cooked all day. We had to drive a couple of hours for an appointment and then come back. By that time, it was almost finished. We returned home between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. It still needed another hour. So by 4 o'clock, so that's 9 to 4 is 7 hours. I said between 6 and 8 hours on low, and that is when it becomes perfect. And you can just take your tongs in here and you can start to break it up, and it shreds perfectly. You don't even need to make any effort. So this is what it looks like when it's all ready to eat. Now you've got a lot of possibilities here. This can be a burrito filling, a taco filling. You can use this for enchiladas. You can use this as a sauce over a chimichanga. You can use this just the way it is and make a burrito bowl, which is what I'm gonna do for you. So I'm gonna go make a burrito bowl, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Well, there you have it. This is one of my favorite things that I said at the beginning. This is definitely one of our family's favorites, the chicken salsa verde. We have it a lot, like at least once a month, and it's always a crowd pleaser. We always have good amount of leftovers, and the girls love to eat it for lunch. It's super easy to, you know, just put in a heated tortilla or throw in some taco shells. But I will warn you, if you're making tacos with this, it is very juicy. This can also be eaten on its own, much like a pork green chili, just in a bowl with your condiments. So normally we would have tomatoes, onions, avocado, maybe some shredded lettuce or cabbage, and sour cream and cheese. You know, you're gonna put the toppings on your burrito bowls or in your tacos that you like. This is what we're having tonight because this is what I had on hand, and we have a super busy week ahead of us, and this is just gonna be the perfect meal for us. So that is how you make a delicious chicken salsa verde freezer meal, and I just know you're gonna love it. It's super convenient and it's delicious, and I hope you try it, and I hope you love it. And until next time, it is lasagna time. I don't hardly ever make lasagna, but today we're going to be doing some lasagna, and we're going to be making it with the intention of freezer banking. Now, I'm making this on a Saturday afternoon, and we're not having it for dinner tonight, but tomorrow is church day, and we have a lot going on, and we have church, and then we have stuff in the afternoon, and then we're going to have dinner early, and then we're going to have lasagna at that time because we have to go back to church tomorrow evening for something special. So we're going to make lasagna today, and I got everything going here. So you've never seen me make lasagna. I thought I would share how I make it. It's super easy. This is very basic. This is not a lasagna bolognese. This does not have bechamel sauce in it. This is straight up old-fashioned my mom's lasagna. Okay, super easy. We're gonna start off with, I have this is half a gallon of Rick's Irish spaghetti sauce. It's made with beef and pork, lots of mushrooms. I have more on the stove. I actually had 4 quarts total. So this is 2 quarts. I have 2 more quarts on the stove.
Provide a link.
And we will give you a link to the video where he makes that, as well as a link to the recipe. And I like to use these oven-ready lasagna noodles. It doesn't matter what brand you use, they're all the same. I have 3 boxes because I don't know how many I'm gonna need. I have 5 pounds of ricotta cheese. I have this 2-pound container of regular and this 3-pound container of the ricotta fresca. You can use whatever kind you want. This is what they had at Sam's Club, so this is what I picked up. And this has literally 3 ingredients. It's got milk, and it's made with vinegar like I would make my ricotta cheese, and something else. Salt. That's it. Milk, vinegar, and salt was what went into this. This one is the same, except it has gums in it. It has guar gum and xanthan gum. I think in the future I'm going to seek this out. I like this brand. I also like the Polly-O brand, but this brand I like better because it's very dense cheese and it's very flavorful. Of course, ricotta cheese isn't super flavorful. It depends on what you put in it. I'm going to tighten up the cheese filling with some eggs. So I'm using essentially 1 egg for every pound plus 1 for good measure because I like my ricotta layer to actually keep its shape. I do not like it to ooze out when we slice it. I have some fresh grated Parmigiano Reggiano, and over here I have 4 pounds of freshly grated whole milk mozzarella, not part skim. I like the whole milk better, but that's up to you. You can use whatever you like, but this is whole milk mozzarella, and like I said, I don't know how much I'm gonna need, so I grated 4 pounds. I still have a pound in the fridge. And all of our seasonings that we're gonna put in, we've got some garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning, parsley, basil, and black pepper. And that is all that goes into my lasagna. We're gonna build the cheese filling, then we're gonna start building our lasagnas. So I'll be right back. All right, we're gonna build our cheese filling. Now this is for obviously the cheese layer in our lasagna. Now I have both containers of the ricotta cheese in here, along with about 2.5 to 3 cups of shredded mozzarella, as well as a cup of grated Parmesan. And now I'm just gonna do like my mom did, and I'm just gonna season this, okay? Now remember, this is a lot of cheese. It's not all going into the same pan. I'm gonna show you the pans that I'm gonna use because they're perfect for my family. And I'm gonna use at least a tablespoon of each one of these seasonings. So there went the pepper and the basil. Here's some Italian seasoning. And as these sit in the cheese mixture and in the lasagna with all the sauce and everything, these are going to hydrate and they're going to flavor everything really well. But you should season yours to taste and to your liking. You shouldn't be forced to do, you know, what I do. And here's some powdered garlic. Actually, I only ever use granulated garlic powder and onion powder, so when you hear me saying that, know that it's granulated. And parsley, I just remember my mom always putting a ton of parsley, and then you see that in the cheese layer in the flecks. And also, remember, Rick's sauce is very highly seasoned as well. So, and here go our 6 eggs. And then you're gonna get in here and you're gonna mix everything up. Who am I kidding? My hands are clean. This is how Mom and Nanny would have done it as well. If you scoop up from the bottom, it is helpful. This is also gonna help you get a really even distribution. And just when you thought it was gonna be too loose or liquidy, there you go. All those cheeses and everything in there, they really do help tighten up this layer. And with the eggs, it's gonna help them, it's gonna help that cheese layer to be kind of solid. And that's really what I like. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll start building up these lasagnas. Okay, we're ready to build up our lasagnas. And before I start, I wanna show you the foil pans that I got. Now you guys know I love a foil pan, but I always put parchment on top and then cover it with foil before I freeze it. Today I'm planning on freezer banking all but one of these lasagnas. And I'll show you how I prep them for the freezer after I get them all built. One of them is gonna be put in the refrigerator and it's gonna be baked off for tomorrow night's dinner. Now these pans are called 1/3 size steam table pans. And I got these at Sam's Club. And if I can find a link to a similar pan online, I will leave it for you. Now this is not as large as a 9x13 or half steam table pan, which isn't quite 9x13. And but a whole steam table pan is like twice the size of a 9x13. These are 12 by 6.5, 12.5 by 6.5. This will fit. Usually they have a little picture here. This will fit 3 to a chafer. If you know what those little wire chafers are, this will fit 3 across. But I feel like this size is perfect for my family to have one meal of lasagna with probably a leftover lunch. It's very deep. It's 2 3/4 inches deep, and that's what we like. So to build lasagna, it's pretty easy, and across the board, this is what you want to do. Now, we want to put a little bit of sauce in the bottom, like this. And then I'm using oven-ready lasagna noodles. That means you don't need to boil them first, and that's important. And then I'm going to put a layer of our cheese mixture. Now, don't be stingy, okay? Spread this all the way to the edges. Then we're going to put more sauce. on top, just like that. And remember, there's cheese, there's like grated cheese inside that cheese layer. Now this is meat and cheese lasagna because I have meat in the sauce, but I know that my mom sometimes would put a whole layer of meat that was mixed with a little bit of sauce in here. So it would be like a cheese layer, a noodle layer, a meat layer with sauce, a cheese layer, a noodle layer, and you know, so on and so forth. So it's up to you. Some people like to put sliced meatballs in their lasagna, which is delicious. Some people like to put slices of a cooked Italian sausage in their lasagna. That's entirely whatever is your deal. That's what you should put in your lasagna. Some people like to put spinach, what have you. More sauce. This smells really good.
It does.
And remember, these noodles are going to expand as they absorb moisture while they cook. So do not be worried that it's not going all the way to the edge. Now, I have 2 layers of cheese in here. I have 3 layers of noodles in here and 3 layers of sauce right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add an extra layer of sauce. And you wanna make sure there's enough moisture so that your noodles cook all the way correctly. Okay. Now, we're gonna get our mozzarella on. And then I'm gonna give it a sprinkle of Parmesan. And that's it. That's how easy it is to build a lasagna. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna build as many as I can with the ingredients that I have available to me today. And I'll bring you back and I'll show you what they all look like, and I'll show you how I'm gonna prep the ones that are going in the freezer. Okay, I got all of my lasagnas done and I got 5 of them, which makes me very happy. Now, I will say, I did have to add 1 jar of sauce to the sauce I had left. So this one down here has very little meat in it, but it's mostly cheese and sauce. So it'll still be delicious, but I am gonna mark it so I know that this one's the one we should use last. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna gather my things and I'm gonna show you how I wrap these up and get them ready to put in the freezer. All right, now I'm gonna prep these to be put in the freezer. This one, either way, fridge or freezer, I'm gonna prep them the same way. Now I have a piece of parchment paper. Now I buy my parchment in sheets that will fit inside of my baking sheets. So that's why they're very large. I cut them in half. And then we're just going to put some foil on top. Now on my larger foil pans, I actually have lids that fit. These, I did not see any lids, but I'm sure I could probably buy them from a restaurant supply. But today we'll go with the foil since that's what we have. You want to make sure that everything is tucked in with foil. The parchment is tucked in there. I'm going to put another layer of foil. If you have heavy duty foil, you can just use 1 layer. And since I put the parchment on there, there's no reason to go to the expense of using nonstick foil. I do have nonstick foil, but I try and limit when I use that because it's very expensive. Make sure that this has a nice tight seal on it. Now, I have some 2-gallon Ziploc bags. These are like storage bags. All the others are going to be put in one of these plastic bags. And I have instructions that I printed out on the computer, and this shows how to make it from thawed or from frozen. If you're going to put these in the freezer, then mostly you'll be able to just bake these from frozen, but I'm going to put that right there. And I'm going to just kind of fold this under so that when I put this in the freezer, then it will behave itself. You can also put a little piece of, like if you have freezer tape like from wrapping meat and stuff, you can put a little tape under there, but that's gonna stack just fine. So that's what I'm gonna do. And we're gonna bake one off tomorrow afternoon. And when we get ready to serve it, I'll bring you back and I'll show you what it looks like. And I'll fix you a plate and we'll give it a taste. Okay, it is the next day. It is Sunday afternoon and we are getting ready to eat our lasagna dinner. I had this in the refrigerator overnight. I just popped it in a 350-degree oven for about an hour and it's ready to go. I also want you to let it sit for at least 15 minutes after you take it out of the oven so that it has time to rest, reabsorb any liquids that have come out during baking, and then it will be a lot easier for you to slice.
Most cold in mouth.
Right, and I know that Rick is ready to give this a try.
If I have to.
You have to. I know you're not going to regret this one though.
That is too good.
Really yummy. I already tasted it when I was serving it up. So you guys, this is really awesome. This is the best way I know of how to keep lasagna in your freezer. Just make sure you make a big batch of sauce and then you have enough left over. Plan ahead of time. Use the oven ready lasagna noodles and then just build those lasagnas up one at a time. Boom, boom, boom. Wrap them up. Put them in your freezer and you'll be good to go. I hope you give freezer baking your own version of lasagna a try and I hope you love it. And until next time, I'll see ya.